Hi guys, my name is Allison and I am a psychology student at the University of Maryland. I'm a Korean American and this whole video is going to be centered around my journey coming to terms with that identity. So I'm basically going to be doing the makeup that I feel the most confident in and answering some questions about how I view makeup and what it means to me and how that all has to do with cultural standards of beauty and my Korean American identity. So I hope you guys are interested and keep watching for some more. Okay, hello. So I'm going to start off by doing my skin makeup and answering this first question, which is, why do you put on makeup and what does it mean to you? So for me, makeup is a lot of things. First and foremost, I think it's self-care, because it's just really relaxing and nice to take that first part of your day and like focus on yourself and really just like, I don't know, spend that time, you know, quality time for yourself, I guess. Used to be more of an obligation for me to do makeup in the morning because I was really insecure and I thought like, hey, I really gotta like cover up my face. But now it's definitely more of like oh, this is like something fun that I do every morning and I'm really excited to do it, and my day kind of feels incomplete without it. So what I'm rubbing on my face, by the way, is this professional primer, and I'm just kind of making sure that my skin is ready for the makeup that will go on. And next I'm going to do foundation. So this is the Lancome Tinted Mirrors foundation. I don't know if you can like even see it. And also this Fix and Fix primer. So what I do is I mix this green color primer, which cancels out the redness of my face, and I mix it with this this foundation. And what it does is it both covers my, you know, like my dark spots and blemishes, and also kind of cancels out the overall redness of my face. Yeah, so I'm just gonna dot it. So other than makeup being self-care, I also think it's a form of self-expression, which is basically the key point, I guess, that I'll get to in this video. But just as a basic kind of summary, for me, like, makeup used to really be like all about raising my confidence. Like without makeup I would have felt like, oh my god, people are only seeing my like perfect skin and I just feel like ugly without makeup. And that's because like in high school, like I was very insecure. I had a lot of acne, but also just I was uncomfortable with who I was, and that really showed in the way that I did my makeup too, because it was, like I said before, an obligation, but also like it was more of me trying to cover up myself instead of enhance who I am or like express who I am. And now that I've kind of become proud of how I look and who I am as a Korean American, I think it's definitely become more of like a self-expression kind of thing where I'm doing my makeup and showing it off as a way of saying, hey, like, this is me and this is my style and this is what I like to do, and kind of showing that off on my face every day. Yeah, but lastly, as I kind of mentioned before, makeup still is like a confidence boost for me, just because, you know, I'm so used to like having it on. It's kind of empty without it, but also like I still am affected slightly by how people view me, right? So obviously, like on important days or you know, when I have something that I want to look good for, I just feel like I should put on like extra makeup as like a you go girl kind of thing. And if I'm looking this way, it's because I'm looking at the mirror. I could not figure out a different way to like make lighting good, so I'm sorry if that's distracting, but I will try to look in the camera as often as possible and also explain what I'm doing to my face. So after I kind of put in all of the foundation and primer with this Real Technique sponge, I'm also patting in this NARS creamy Radiant Concealer. And I'm just kind of gonna pop it on my face with my fingers. And I find that when I apply concealer with my fingers, it kind of stays in place better and the coverage goes up. So just a little tip for some of you who want to cover up their blemishes. Some of these dark spots that I have on my face, I literally have had for like years. And yeah, it's just something that I've kind of come to terms with. I don't really get like chronic acne anymore, but I can definitely see like that was something that really hurt my confidence when I was younger, and I'm still kind of dealing with, you know, loving myself and really like being confident. So yeah, but I'm gonna move on to the next question, which is beauty important in your culture, and what are the defining traits of beauty in your culture? So long story short, yes, I think beauty is important like all over the world, but in both positive and negative ways. But there's this, in Korea especially, there's this like plastic surgery and beauty industry, like it's billions of dollars. There's advertisements everywhere, and like basically everybody wants to be this one standard of beauty, right? So they go through great lengths to reach that. And I did grow up in America, but I was never really separated from my Korean heritage because I grew up in a Korean church, and there were a lot of like first generation immigrants that went to that church that were my parents' friends, and like just in general when people would make comments, like I started to understand at a very young age that being beautiful, whatever that means, was like really important to a lot of people. And I think that's when I started to kind of ask myself, like, am I beautiful, you know? And yeah, but to talk about like the mainstream like ideal of beauty in Korea, so the first thing is like pale skin. So I know in like a lot of Asian cultures, actually like India and Korea, people will like purposefully bleach their face to have a paler skin, because like apparently having pale skin shows that like you don't have to work as a farmer, so you're like more high class, which I really don't understand. But yeah, it's interesting because in America, like if you're tan, it kind of shows class because like you have the luxury to like go out and go to the beach and tan, right? But in Asian cultures, it's actually the opposite, which I find pretty interesting. But yeah, I think pale skin is definitely an ideal of beauty that, like my mom always tells me, she's like, you have to wear sunscreen because like, I mean, obviously it'll damage your skin, but like you don't want to be too tan, right? And I'd be like, okay. And like after a while, I realized that like I myself really didn't want to become tan, and I really don't know why. But that's definitely something that I've had influence from. Another thing that I've kind of realized was that the Korean kind of ideal of beauty has to do a lot to do with like how big your eyes are. So like Asians in general are like stereotyped to have like small eyes, right? But like in Korea, if you have like a double eyelid, which is like most European people have a double eyelid, but like a lot of Asians have monolids, and that kind of, I guess that's something that like a lot of Korean people are pretty insecure about, and they get like surgery to get like a, I don't know if you can see, but there's like a little crease in my eye, and that can like, it's very close to my actual eye, so you might not even be able to see it, but like people want like a crease so that it opens up their eyes. And even when they do their makeup, a lot of it is dedicated to like how can you open up your eyes to make it look more wide and youthful. So that's definitely another ideal of beauty in Korea. And yeah, that's kind of like the negative, I guess, things that I've found that like Korean makeup artists do is like try to, I don't know, I think beauty in general, like it can be a double-edged sword because it can be an enhancer of what you already have and really kind of be a way to take care of yourself and express yourself. But it can also be like toxic. It can be something that you try to look a certain way for, you know? And it's just all about finding a balance between like finding something that you feel the most confident in, but at the same time knowing that it's okay that you look that way, and it's actually great that you look that way, that you're different from everybody else. So yeah, something positive though from the beauty culture in Korea is that they have very like interesting beauty trends, and I'll go into those like more so when I do them on my own face. But like if you saw me put on like weird shapes and like lines with this contour stick, basically I just kind of put more structure to my nose and my jawline, and then I highlighted like the center of my nose to kind of lift it up, and yeah, so that's something that I learned from Korean makeup artists, is just how to, because they have like similar features to me, some of them, like I will be able to pick up some tips from them on how to like enhance my Asian features. So the next question is, do you think that beauty is tied to race in mainstream culture, and how does that affect the way that you look at yourself? So yeah, I think that definitely beauty is tied to race in mainstream culture. Like I think it's just like a matter, like where I grew up in a neighborhood that was predominantly like not Asian. I was basically like one of two, I think, Asians in my entire grade. And because like I was different from all of my friends and I was different from like everybody, I felt weird about myself. Like I just felt like I was bad different. I didn't fit in quite well to what like other people were like, I guess. And one of the biggest things that I was insecure about was my nose, because I actually was teased about it a lot in elementary school, about how I have like a flat nose and kind of smaller eyes. Yeah, and I was really jealous of the girls that like had the really like structured nose and the high nose bridge, and I really wanted that. So like I did, when I started doing makeup, I actually did like a ton of research on like how to make my nose look sharper and stuff like that. So yeah, that's those kind of techniques stayed with me, but like I'm not really that insecure about my nose anymore. It's just more of like, I like how my nose looks with and without contour, but I usually do it as part of my routine. And to kind of explain what I did for my nose contour, I kind of did it while I was talking, but I used this contour stick from Etude House, and I just kind of shaded the sides a little bit, and kind of especially the sides of the bottom of my nose, and then I highlighted like the center part and kind of blended it out. And then I also did that to my jawline. I kind of just like put the contour around like the edges to kind of just make the face a little smaller, which, oh, by the way, is something that like tons of Koreans are like, oh my god, I want my face to be small, which I don't really see in American culture, but that's also something kind of interesting. And I also reinforced both my nose and my jawline contour with the powder contour, and this is one of the most popular products in Korea. I think it's like the color, I guess, and like the quality of it is just like and it's also like really cheap, so I think that's why like a lot of people use it, but I really like it too. And then I also put on some powder off camera because my camera stopped recording, of course. But yeah, I used the Innisfree No Sebum Mineral Powder to kind of just mattify my face. And then I'm right now using the Clinique Cheek Pop blush. It's so pretty. I like just got it to kind of brighten up my face. But to continue answering the question that I was answering before, I actually took a whole class on how like the media and online culture ties to race. And something that I researched like on my own in that class was how like mainstream culture and beauty online connects to race. And I learned a lot, and something that was the most interesting to me was that like I could connect my own like experiences and like what I know from my culture to what I see like on the research. And something that I noticed is that like in Korean like beauty ideals, like the Eurocentric features are so idealized. Like bigger eyes is more like European, the sharper nose too. Like a lot of Koreans nowadays are getting like nose jobs to kind of raise up their nose. Yeah, and I think it also has to do with like media representation. Like growing up, literally the only Asian person on TV was Mulan. Yeah. And like I feel like what kind of message does that send, you know? Like when I was reading something the other day and like it said like even now like I think 86 close to 90% of characters in movies are white. And like when these like people are the people that you're rooting for, you know, like the people that are portrayed to be successful and attractive and all these like good features are all white, like what kind of message is that sending, right? And for me, like as I was like interested in makeup from when I was like a really young girl, and like I was interested in beauty, and like I was such a girly girl, you know, like I love that stuff. I just wanted, I never like wanted to be Asian, you know. It's kind of sad, but like because Mulan was literally like the only Asian woman that I had to look up to, like I don't know, I felt like being Asian, like as an Asian, I couldn't really be desirable and I couldn't be beautiful. Of course it had to do with like me like not being able to accept who I was like as a person and my identity, and also just like being super insecure about myself. But also I think it has to do with like how idealized European features are, and how little representation like other minorities get on TV. So it's pretty sad, but I think that's definitely the case. And I'm really interested to see if like people from other minority races like feel the same way, that they feel like, oh, like I'm not being represented in the media and I'm not being portrayed as beautiful. And that makes me feel like as a black woman, as a Hispanic woman, as whatever, I can't be beautiful. So that will probably come up in the later episodes of this series, but yeah, another thing to stay tuned for. But I think, yeah, I'm gonna move on to the next question after I explain what I just did. So I just kind of followed the shape of my eyebrows. They're naturally pretty like arched, but not like super not super like structured. I kind of just like fill it in and blend it out, and it kind of just looks like how my brows normally are, but a little darker. And then something that I do that I kind of learned from Korean YouTubers and like makeup artists is I drew this like line underneath my eyes. I don't know if you can see it, but like I drew this line right here where my eye kind of puffs up when I smile. And this is called aegyosa in Korean. It directly translates to cute fat. And yeah, it like kind of opens up your eyes and makes it look more youthful. And I really like that kind of makeup trend, and I use it like every day in my makeup because it just makes my eyes look like it's always smiling. So yeah, that's what I did. And to answer the next question, which is, do you believe that your makeup has influence from your cultural background, and how? If not, how would you describe your makeup style and where you get your inspiration from? Yes, I do believe that my makeup has influence from both my American and my Korean cultural background, because when I go to Korea, like, because I live in America, people tell me like, oh, I can totally tell you're Korean American because like you look different, like you don't do the style of like every other Korean makeup. But interestingly enough, in America where I live, people tell me like, hey, like, I can tell you're Korean because your makeup is super Korean. I'm like what is what does that mean? But like, yeah, I think what it means is that like my makeup is not entirely American and it's not entirely Korean, and I think I'm pretty proud of that. I think it's cool that my makeup actually reflects who I am as a Korean American. So I'm pretty proud of that. If I were to pick out like what portion of my face is Korean and what portion of my face is like American inspired, definitely think like my eyebrows are not traditionally like the Korean straight eyebrows. Like in Korea, I think the main goal of Korean makeup is to look youthful and like healthy and glowy, right? I really like matte skin because I have oily skin anyways, and I don't really want to make my skin look oilier than it already is. But also like my eyebrows, they're pretty arched naturally and I don't really pluck them or do them at all. I just kind of fill them in, and so it happens that it looks kind of like more so the American style. But definitely like my blush, my lip, and my eye makeup is like pretty inspired by Korean makeup trends. So I will actually start my eye makeup using this Korean Etude Play Color Eyes in the color scheme Juice Bar. It looks like this, and I'm taking the brown, like neutral brown color, and just kind of darkening the outer and inner corner of my upper eyelid and the outer corner of my lower eyelid. And this little part right here, this triangle zone it's literally 삼각존, which means triangle zone in Korean. It's from like the very widest part of your eye to the outward part where it kind of curves up again, right? If you cover up, if you kind of darken that part, it also widens up your eyes, which I learned from Korean makeup artists, and I use it every day. So the next question is, do you feel that you use makeup to fit the societal standard of beauty, or is it more of an avenue for self-expression, and does makeup affect your self-confidence? So I kind of like mentioned this before, but to really kind of dive into that question, I think that I definitely like used to use it as a mask to cover up, you know, what I really looked like and who I really was. I didn't like that I was Asian, and I didn't like that I looked the way that I did, right? So I would use makeup in a way that would kind of cover everything up. I'd actually like use so much foundation and concealer and different products to just kind of cover my face in makeup. Yeah, but recently I've really come to terms with like who I am as a Korean American, and I've really become to like be proud of that, right? So now it's more of like like I kind of mentioned before, an expression of that identity. I have inspiration from both cultures in the way that I do my makeup, and it like does show, like people can tell and make comments about it, and it like brings up a conversation about like beauty and cultural identity when people ask me about my makeup or compliment my makeup, you know? Yeah. And in terms of the standard of beauty, I think that like in grade school, from elementary school to like high school, all I wanted to do was be like everybody else, you know? I hated being different basically, because I just felt this pressure like, oh, I really need to kind of fit in, you know? And I felt like in order to fit in, I just had to be a carbon copy of what everybody else is doing. And that caused me to also kind of hate myself, you know, because like I am different from everybody, like naturally, and everybody is different obviously, but I just kind of highlighted the parts of me that were different from everybody else, and I was like, oh my gosh, I can't be beautiful, I can't fit in, I can't, you know, I just like hated who I was. But like I realized, like when I'm thinking about like what really is beautiful, that it isn't being like the same as everybody else. That really isn't my definition of beauty anymore. It's really just like kind of embracing who you are and all parts of that, including like how you look, including like your personality and what you enjoy and your identity as anybody as that you are, you know. All of those factors leads to making each person unique, and that uniqueness, I think, is beauty. And so like when I say I do makeup to be beautiful, it like kind of went from me doing makeup to be beautiful, to fit that like TV movie star celebrity standard of beauty, to like highlighting who I am and embracing my difference. And I think that level of like being comfortable with myself really translates to self-confidence. And I think self-confidence really makes you pop, you know? Like you can genuinely be like so beautiful, but if you don't believe in yourself, you don't think that you're, you know, that you're unique and you're special and you're beautiful the way that you are, like it's hard for other people to see it that way too, right? Because like you have to advocate for yourself, and you have to like I don't know why this turned into a pep talk, but yeah, I think that has made the most difference for me, is really just like understanding that like it's truly okay to be who I am, yeah, and be different. So it's definitely, makeup is not anymore like something that I do to fit a standard of beauty, and it's more of like a expression and reflection of myself. So yeah, I'm going to, before I answer the last question, I'm going to explain what I'm doing with my makeup, my eye makeup in general. So basically I kind of use the shimmery shadows to kind of brighten up my eyes. I actually also applied it to like my under eye as well, which is very characteristic of Korean makeup, because it kind of like, the light kind of reflects those shimmers and kind of makes your eyes pop more. And yeah, I'm adding this extra glitter. It's the Stila liquid eyeshadow in the color Kitten Karma. And I'm popping it like right in the center, right above where the pupils are. And this will really kind of give that extra pizzazz, I guess, to the look. But in terms of what I did, and like other than the sparkle, is I am also putting the darker browns, which I'll show you here. The darker browns, this one, and this one. Wow, I just accidentally threw my makeup brush. But yeah, I'm putting those 3 colors like right in the triangle zone that I was telling you about before, and also right in the outer corners, like so. That kind of opens up the eyes and creates a more smoky effect. And then the thing that I think kind of makes my makeup pretty unique from American makeup is that I don't ever actually do a cat eye. I love the way that it looks on other people and it's like really beautiful, but when I try it on myself, it just like doesn't, I don't think it works for my features and like the way that my whole face like works together. So what I do with my makeup actually is I start from where my eye starts coming down, and I very thinly outline that area and follow that shape. And then once I get to the end of my eye, I actually keep going straight out. And my makeup brush pen is actually dying right now. There's like barely anything left in here, so it's really not drawing on as smoothly as I would like. But I want you to kind of be able to see. I'm blurry. Okay. From here, drag it out and pull out like so. Other side, I'm just dragging out that line so that my eyes are kind of lengthened as well. And because that eyeliner is dying, I will use a black eyeliner on top of that. So this was actually brown and I use this on a daily basis because like I think it is more of a natural look and I really like this. This is the Last Pen eyeliner, but sometimes like if I have a special occasion or like I want to kind of make my eyes pop a little bit more, I'll use the Stila Stay All Day Waterproof Liquid Eyeliner in the shade Intense Black. And what I'll do is I'll go over the brown in a thinner line to kind of just accentuate my eye a little bit more. Yeah, it's a pretty nerve-wracking process. Yep, and that is my eye look when it's done. And so now I will do my mascara, which is pretty standard across like everything. And I'll answer the last question, which is who taught you about makeup and how to do it, and can you describe the different phases that you went through in terms of makeup styles? So I loved makeup since I was like a little girl. I literally like would steal my mom's makeup while she wasn't looking, and I would like try it on. I had no idea what I was doing, of course, but I'd like put it all over my face, and I literally like from a very young age I loved makeup. But like I guess the first YouTube I learned all of my techniques and whatnot from YouTube, and the first YouTuber that I watched was Michelle Phan. She doesn't make YouTube videos anymore, but she was a really famous and popular YouTuber, and something that I loved about her was that she was so creative in making like different eye makeup looks. And I also really loved how she kind of talked about her Vietnamese American experience. I think that was super cool. Yeah, but she does have like very European features. She has the sharp jawline and the cheekbones and the huge eyes and the really sharp nose. And so like a lot of the techniques that she talked about really like fit more of like a European featured face more than my Asian face. So I would watch a lot of like European and American YouTubers, you know, just the people that were popular at the time. And it kind of, I don't know, it kind of coincided with my phase of like using makeup as a mask, because of course as I see all these people on YouTube and online and in the media as like European features being beautiful, of course I wanted to be like that too. So yeah, I used makeup extremely heavily, and I like caked it on and just used it to look different from how I am. But then I actually found this YouTuber called Sunny Channel, and she's pretty famous too, but she's a Korean American YouTuber, and like I was blown, like I was amazed, because first of all, like she speaks both American and Korean, so she has like videos in both, and she has like a Korean American style. She has like both the Korean makeup trends and the also like American influence too in her makeup, and I was like, this girl is amazing, like I can actually relate to her, and she has similar features to me, so I can like take her makeup techniques and tricks and tips that she says, and like when I tried them on my face it actually like made sense, you know, because they were for like people who have similar features to me and similar features to her. And yeah, I just like suddenly felt like, I don't know, like first of all she's like very beautiful, so I was like, wow, this like Korean American, like she's goals, like I want to be like her, I want to be so like confident in myself and like put myself out there as a Korean American, right? And then I started getting into like the Korean and Korean American makeup styles, and slowly but surely I've kind of moved from like copying makeup tutorials like not word for word, but like what's the word? Like I've moved from using makeup tutorials like as like a script to exactly what I need to do on my face, to kind of like translating, you know, what works for me. Like for example, maybe like a color scheme that someone used in their makeup tutorial, I'll put that on my face but do it in my own little way, put my own little twist to it. So I think that I finally reached that phase where like, first of all, I'm comfortable with and without makeup, and I'm comfortable in my own skin, and second of all, like I have kind of developed my own style. So yeah, to explain what I did with my lips, I used this MAC Chili lipstick. This is like literally my favorite lipstick ever, and it's one of the most popular lipsticks in Korea because the colors, like it complements Asian skin tones very well. And then I just put that in the center of my lips, and I put the Nori lip oil that I put on before kind of over it to make it kind of glossy and juicy, I guess, look. So that is the end of all the questions, and also the end of my my putting on my makeup for the morning. So I hope you guys enjoyed and were able to think about, you know, makeup as it relates to cultural identity, and hopefully apply it to your own lives or think about what you guys see online and in the media. So thank you so much for watching. If you came all this way, I was kind of ranting, half tutorialing and half like going on my soapbox, but hopefully it was interesting to you, and I will come back next time with another person who can talk about her own experiences. So stay tuned for that, and thank you so much. Bye!